And I have so many red flags for this man. Oh my
Like,
God.
my manhood only gets turned on by black women. And it's just like, so
It be like that
how do we-
sometimes.
exactly.
But you go black, it
Oh,
always irks me when people challenge your blackness according to who you are.
it's so
dating.
funny. Okay, let's get into
Let's get into it. Perfect.
and just really chill. and sit back.
Yes.
But what was I saying? So I told him about the old trainer
Yeah.
and how just like everything that we were going through, and he was like, yeah, no, like online training, those type of people are not that good. He looked him up. He's, oh, I know him. He takes steroids all the time, so he's probably like giving you what his coach gave him, like stuff like that, which was so funny. Oh, gosh, okay, let's get into this.
Let's get into it.
Girl, so I was like, so for 6 months,
Yes.
I'm working with this trainer.
Yeah.
And I'm trying, so I be very honest with them. Like, this is something that I've been wanting since, and since like 8th grade. Like, I've been wanting this since 8th grade. So I know trainers, they have clients that come in to say everything under the sun.
Yeah.
And then have every other excuse. So it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to be like, I promise you,
Yeah.
I'm one that is the serious one.
Yeah.
And so I told the first trainer, I was just like, when I step on that scale, if I don't see that weight go down, it's a wrap. Like it's a wrap. Like I will
Okay.
have a meltdown.
Okay.
So he was like, okay, I think our main purpose is to get the weight down, right?
Yeah.
And so he started me on these calories, and after a couple months, he'll be like, give it some time, give it some time. After 3 months, he was like telling me to continue to give it some time, but he was still doing changes. Like throughout the time, he will take back some of the lifting and add a lot more cardio, and then eventually take back some food, never really giving it back, but like take back some food. And eventually we got to a point where I was eating like 1,700 calories, but we were carb cycling on top of that. So I was only eating carbs like Monday and Tuesday, and then the rest of the week I wasn't eating carbs. And at first,
That doesn't make any sense to me.
well, I always grew up thinking like less is more. And I just had a podcast yesterday where I talked about this too, like how I watched my mom be a Weight Watcher woman and step on the scale all the time.
Right.
And so that kind of made me feel like this
Okay.
is how it was supposed to be.
Right.
So anyway, after we were on this carb cycling, I start to lose weight. Like, okay,
Yeah.
holy crap, I'm losing weight.
Yeah.
But after like 4 weeks, I started gaining it all back.
That's
just like,
because the method he was using is not sustainable. And I have so many red flags for this man. Oh my God.
So I was like, this is when I was calling you, be like, I think I need a new trainer, like in
Right.
April. And I was like,
Is he a
gonna-
nutritionist? Is he like a licensed nutritionist?
I don't know. I just think he's maybe just, he has a CPA, but I don't know that's nutrition. I don't think that's nutrition, but
No, it's not.
but he did help me with the calories. That's where I feel like I always have the problem. Like I can work out and I eat so healthy all the time, but when I'm eating like 1,300 calories, and it's not a lot. So I had to really get that mindset right. So in the beginning of April, I'm like, what's going on? I gave him a month. I still start gaining weight. He's still like contradicting himself. I was like, yo, bro, like this is not going well. What's happening? He's like, you know what? I think we should end our relationship or our working together because you've never been happy since we started and blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
I wrote this
the amount
long
of
email.
red flags.
And I went back and I highlighted everything that he said where he would say, like, give it some time. Or like in the beginning of that email, he was like, we've been fluctuating all the time. But then 2 emails ago, you're like, we're making weight drops. So it was just like, I kept calling him out on his contradiction. It was a long, like at least 5 paragraphs. And each paragraph started with a sentence he said.
And then you did dissecting it. You said this, and this, sir. What I took from that is this.
yes. And then at the
Back
very
to college.
end, he was just like, I'm not here to argue. I don't want to do this. And so the next week I was working with TJ, and now he's getting me the first like month and a half. He was like, I need you to start eating more calories, and let's just get your body working on that. And really focusing on high energy workouts. We're like, I'm so used to lifting, so it's very hard. And we lift, but we're not lifting like heavy.
Right.
And that's, I guess, the objective because we want our body to get this fat off. And so like maybe this marks the like literally week 2 of us actually eating we're now eating more calories. This is the calorie amount. He was like, this is where we need to be in. But yeah.
What a journey.
I know.
Lord.
I had a podcast yesterday. I was just telling my friend Angela, I'm like, I really desperately, like, even before you were getting here, because I was putting on clothes, I was like, I really just want, like, I don't feel like I'm asking for a lot. I don't feel like I'm asking to be on the cover of GQ magazine, but I do feel like I am at my end with this journey, and it kind of sucks, because that means, like, what happened to when you eat right and you put that work in, and like it makes me question what we were taught, like, you know what I mean? And so I don't want to, it's only been 2 weeks since we like started the calorie. So
yeah,
but it is what it is. But, and TJ's now, we're doing like these body scans. So he wants to scan every month. But I just know for me, because fitness has always failed, that it's so hard to keep being motivated when you're like, I just need something to just tell me that is right. So that I can, like, if I know that is right, I would never stop working out for the rest of my life.
Right.
But when you're just putting so much work into it and you're just like, I just don't know. Like, I just feel like I'm running into a wall. So we'll see.
It's
We
a
shall
process. Everyone has their process. And I don't know. Have you gone to the doctor to see if there's any like any underlying things that might be
the first guy was like,
you?
I think you should go get your thyroid checked.
I was just about to say
and
thyroid.
I did, and my thyroid was fine, and we got my like diabetes as well, because that's runs in the family, and that was fine. So and that's another thing too, it's just like that's another way I'm feeling like more peace at it. I don't know. I want to be like, is there anything else? Like, do I have cancer or something? What else can this be? Like,
yeah, cancer's not gonna do what that per se.
I can have a giant tumor on my stomach that's like causing everything, and we remove it, I can like lose.
Well, then you would be losing weight at like rapid rates.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's a process. But it sounds like you have a plan and there's a path forward. It's definitely not a linear thing, but it's like, but I feel like once you got it, you got it.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it, in my opinion. Yeah. You may have to change like a few things up here and there, but it's going to happen.
I love fitness YouTubes because they're like very aspirational, I guess. So I guess that's the hook.
Yes.
At least for me.
Yes. But are you comparing yourself when you watch these things?
No, because
I stopped watching a lot of those things.
Do you?
Yeah.
Who did you used to watch?
Oh man, just like random people. I don't even know if I really knew their names.
You never
they were
had,
just
like, a diehard YouTuber that you watched all the time?
Well, what's her face? She had short hair. She was kind of tall, black. I'll have to find her, but I feel like her name started with an R. I'll find it eventually. But yeah, I used to follow her on Instagram and all that stuff like that. And I used to follow like people that would be ambassadors for like other companies too. But yeah, I just like unfollowed and stopped watching. Because I was just like, I'm not going to look like you. I'm not built like that.
Exactly. Yeah, that too. Yeah. I mean, I think what's helping now is that I can separate that from my problems.
Right.
And I do know there's a lot of people out there who are talking more openly about steroid use and like photoshopping and stuff like that, and being more transparent, which helps a lot.
Yeah.
But someone in that YouTube video, he lost weight, and he was like, now it's all I have to do is just this, like, as soon as I got, and I'm like, oh, that's what I just want.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to get that thing where I can just like continue on with my life and stuff. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing to want it.
No. But
I know. And you only have this one body and this like one life too. It's just like you don't want like this like this is your body that you're gonna live in. Like that's it.
Yes.
So it's like you want to at least make it a place that you want to be at.
Yes. And that's the thing I tell my therapist, and she helped me really to like I was like driving the car in like the wrong direction. And so like she helped me realize that we need to go in a different direction.
Right.
And so now I'm like I said, like all I just want are like, I'm not trying to be like, you know, when people lose weight, they want to like flex. I want to flex in my way, like for myself. Like I don't want to flex and do it in a way where I'm like, I'm better than you, but to be like an accomplishment.
Right.
And I have so many clothes in my closet right now that I'm holding on to that I'm just like, can I just get back to the size 36? Like I'm just asking.
Oh man.
Now, like I don't want to buy a whole new wardrobe. And that's another thing I want to express myself differently through clothing and wear different stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm one of those people that are like, well, let's just lose some weight first and then we can buy these clothes. I know.
I'm gonna tell you, get rid of those clothes. I'm so serious. Get rid of those clothes. I used to do the same thing. And I would try them on every, few weeks to be like, oh, like, it doesn't fit now. And it still didn't fit. And I was like, you know what? Like, why? Because it's like you buy clothes to make it fit for you, not for you to fit into the clothes. And I feel like there's so many great brands now out there that will look great on your body that you don't need to, like, contort yourself to. Like, it's a mental game having clothes in your closet that don't fit. And you're like, I'm just waiting until I'm the right XYZ to get it.
To me, I'm like,
get rid of it.
One size above like my pants are 36. What I'm wearing right now is a 38. Yeah. So, and that's how, guys, it's 36, 38.
Yes,
so I'm I'm just one size up. Like, I'm
get rid of the pants, Cayman.
Right there. I can do it. I'm right.
Get rid of the pants, Cayman. I'm telling you, because you know what's gonna happen. Like, you're gonna start to like lose weight and all that stuff like that. But then you're gonna like gain some muscle. So like it still might not even fit right.
That's true.
And you might have to get custom jeans or custom pants anyway. Like. You don't want to live in the past.
Is the problem? You know what I'm also thinking about?
Yeah.
I think the problem is that clothing obviously is not a one size fit all.
No.
They're just like
and the sizing is
sizes
BS.
And like everyone needs to wear this, and our bodies are all shaped and sized differently.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I just get rid of it. Yeah. Last summer I came to the realization it was probably like the worst day of my life, but then like I had to buy my first because I was a medium. All my life of just like, oh, I'm either a size 6 or 8. Like I was always in that realm medium. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I had to buy my first like large thing. Yeah. Because like mediums didn't fit. And I was just like, what? Like, what is going on? I was like, no, this can't be it. This can't be it. And then I would try to fit myself into the mediums and be so uncomfortable and feeling like a muffin top and all this stuff. I'm like, let me just get the large. And I felt so much better. And then like I just kept buying large. I'm like, all right, I know I'm a large. Cool. Yeah. And then I started losing weight again. And then I was like, oh, this is a little too big. Yeah. I can go buy like a medium shirt. And like it was such a pleasant thing. Like, oh, okay, cool. Like I can go now buy something else that fits versus it being a big thing. Sometimes that helps.
I don't know, girl. We'll see.
I know.
We'll see.
I know. It's hard. It's hard.
Well, Sheila, thank you for coming onto my podcast.
Oh, cool.
And thank you for joining. Usually when I have friends on, I like to talk about just like, I mean, we did a warm up, I guess.
Yeah.
But just to have the audience know our relationship or like that. I didn't do it with my friend Zach, but right when we did our recording, the writer strike hit, and so we just talked about TV and stuff like that. But I want us to talk. I don't know if I texted you that I wanted to talk about like childhood or our friendship or stuff like that. Yep. But I still have your name as prom date. You are still in my phone. You are still named prom date.
Oh my god, I love
every
that.
Every time I try to find Sheila,
I
can't find it.
I'm like, what?
Prom date. And so I always tell people our prom story because we really never had a prom.
No, we didn't. It was some BS. It was stupid, and I want a prom still. But
I want a prom too. I want to. I love our prom because for me. We could have done junior and senior. Did you go junior year?
I went junior year.
Okay. Do you remember who you went with? You don't have to say names, but
no, I went with. Well, he passed away now, which I found out. Michael.
Why do I know that name? Well, because
we went to high school together.
but I need a face or something like that.
Yeah, but he would hang out with a few other. Like he was like the skater kind of guy. He's African too.
I think. Okay, what did he? Is this new?
He passed away like maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, what from what?
1 or 2. I don't know. Oh. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, oh, that's so sad.
Wasn't there at the reunion?
No, he was not.
He would have been passed.
Yeah, he would have been. Yeah. I don't know what he passed away from. I just remember going on Facebook and seeing that he had passed. But yeah,
I remember how I felt like everything was going wrong on that day.
Yeah,
because I had to go to work and then I used my dad's car, but I was cutting it close because I like remember, I don't know, I got off at 3 and I had to get the car. I had to go get changed. And then I remember picking you up late And I think we were late for pictures. And so I
Yeah.
felt so bad that we were like late for pictures.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I
But
don't see that's how much it's not even a big deal. I don't remember.
true. Yeah. But then I was thinking how we went to dinner.
Yeah.
And then my car got declined when we went to Benihana's.
It did?
Yes, my car got declined when we went to Benihana's. And I think you had to pay.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, because the waiter I think he kept trying to put in the pin and it got canceled or blocked him out. But because I know specifically the reason why I was late because I worked next to the bank. So I went to go get money onto that card.
Right.
Like, you know what? Like,
Yeah.
it's Prom,
Yeah.
with my day, it is what it is. We're going to Benihana.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my car got declined. What? Yes, yeah. And I think you paid or someone paid. I obviously paid them.
Yeah.
I paid you back.
I was about to say, I don't know if I paid because I did not have any money at that time. So maybe
So you were waiting for me to.
So maybe it was either you or maybe like you
washed
had
some dishes or
maybe you
something.
told somebody to pay and I didn't know about
Yeah,
it, but I don't remember
No, I
that.
definitely remember our car.
That's
getting
crazy.
So then so we're late,
Yep,
and then my
yep.
car gets declined.
Yep.
And then I don't know how we got to our venue because we weren't on like the party bus.
No, we
people.
weren't. I think we might have driven just like
driven
together.
separately?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that might have been. Yeah.
And then we get there fairly early because
Yes.
we are like the first to arrive.
Yep.
And I
remember
just
that.
know that you wanted to dance.
Yes.
And I did
yes,
not want
honey.
to dance.
Yes.
I didn't want to dance because we were early. We just got there.
Yeah.
No one else was there.
Right.
We did thank God we took pictures at the photo booth. I think I don't think I have the actual strip, but I do have an Instagram of it.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't remember what happened, but all I know is we had to evacuate the building.
Yep.
And as we evacuated the building, the rest of the senior party was like there. Like,
Yeah.
They were signing in, all their buses were there. Like,
Yeah.
everyone was there.
Yeah.
And then they start seeing us backwards and they're like, what's going on? And apparently we got a bomb threat.
Yep.
So did someone call to throw? Was the bomb threat on us? Because I thought the bomb threat was on some wedding that was happening at the same time.
That's what it was.
Okay.
It was like a wedding because it was at the Earl Brown Heritage Center, which hosts like a bunch of different like events and stuff like that in the same spot. So I think it was that wedding that something happened, and then they wanted to evacuate like all of us because of it, which sucked. But yeah, you're right. We got there early, and then as people were starting to actually come in is when they're like, "Oh, turn around, you gotta go." And I remember everyone's like faces like coming, "What? Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yep, we gotta go." So hey, we got there early, and we actually experienced like maybe a half hour.
That's true.
A half hour
That's
prom
true.
of our
That's
senior
true.
prom, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was.
And then I
Insane.
think, didn't we all? I feel like weren't we on the news? Because didn't we all pack
We did,
up
we're-
into the people who had buses
Yes.
packed all the buses back up.
Yep.
There's a Target that was like not
Yep.
too
The
far.
Target. Yeah.
And this was late, like maybe
Yes.
9:30. So
Yeah.
we used, you know how like in the parking lots in the back ones, no one's
Yep.
there. So we parked all the buses there, and then I guess we all were on the same radio station. and just,
Yeah.
like, played whatever was on the radio.
Yep. I remember that.
And
Yeah.
then somehow, I don't know how we got on the news, but we were on the news as the prom that had
Yeah, bomb threat. It was
the
so
bomb
sad.
threat and
Yeah.
the Target.
It was so sad.
Target should have sponsored us.
That's what I think we were thinking, like, oh, maybe like Target will do something, or Target didn't do
Wouldn't
nothing.
that be amazing?
That would have been amazing,
If
but
Target was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I will, they have an event center. They could have just invited us.
I know, just been like, all right, we'll open our Target center and just like come up, or no. I remember, I think after that, there was a whole bunch of people petitioning for us to do, can we do a redo?
Yes.
But I think at that point they were like, well, we spent all the money.
Yeah.
We don't have any money in the funds to be doing all that. And you have your senior party coming up in a month or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So they're just like, no. And just
What they should
kick
have
rocks.
done
I was
is,
like, okay.
did a prom at the senior party. Like, they could have given this like a dance party. Maybe.
Maybe.
They did. But I remember that was really fun.
The senior party was a blast.
It was.
I feel like they made up for some kind of things. Like they had a bunch of, well, I think actually maybe it was like a standard senior party because I had heard from previous years ours was pretty similar to what happened with
Okay.
theirs. So I don't know if they did anything extra for
Yeah.
us.
I just
But-
remember going into this weird building that was
Yeah.
multi-level. And
Yes.
then we had multi-sections. And girl,
Yeah.
I remember getting a tattoo, like a
Oh,
spray
yeah,
paint
yeah, yeah.
tattoo. And
Yep.
it was like glitterly purple and pink. And I had my arm just out. And I think about that. I was like, what was I thinking? And I remember, I think it was Mac or people around that
Yeah.
like friend group being like, what is this kid doing? Because I literally just walked around with one arm, this whatever arm it was, and then this sleeve rolled out, and so everyone can see my purpley glitter tattoo that I don't know was so proud to get. It was so weird, but yeah.
That's okay.
Well, and then I also remember in our senior, did we get our money back or did we not get our money? I think they kept our money.
No.
Or did we get partial money back?
I think we got partial.
Okay.
I think we got partial. I don't remember getting all of it back. Yeah.
I remember I was telling another friend how we used to party with Mac. Was that the name that?
No.
Oh, not Mac.
Matt Quaylen. Yes, I was about to say. When did we party with Matt?
No.
Matt Quaylen.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I remember those because that was one of those parties. That was like every time I tell people like when I snuck out, that was the first time I snuck out of my parents' house.
I came to pick you up. No, I think came and picked us both up because she was the only one with a car that could drive at the time.
I remember that day. I went outside. It was like noon. I went outside to put a stool step outside my window.
Yeah.
And then I remember I took the screen out like right away.
Yes.
And then I hit it. And then I remember like, because I used to watch TV in the basement because I didn't have a TV in my room. Mm-hmm. And so you know how you do like your song and dance, like when you're trying to go to bed, you know?
Like, oh, I'm so tired. Man, I can't believe how tired I am. I'm just going to be a rock. I'm just going to be a solid rock when I get to bed. Don't even try to wake me because I'm going to be a rock.
Exactly. Yes. Okay, so I did the song and dance. Yep. I got dressed and I put the pillows under my bed and everything. Damn. And I remember my mom. So I had this. My room was too small to have a dresser. It had a closet, but it was like my dad used it. Yeah. So we had this IKEA built thing, and it was right next to the door. So in order to really look into the room, you had to fully open the door. Like if you cracked it, you would just get blocked by the dresser. Yeah. So that's kind of how my mom and dad would talk to me, with like just open it and get blocked. So I hear the kitchen door open. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. And I hear the footsteps coming up to my door. I'm like, oh my God. And they open the door. Yeah. My mom says something, and I just remember like facing away from her. So it sounded like I was in the bed. Yeah. And then she closed the door and I was like, oh. And then you texted me. Yeah. And I hopped out that window. We hopped in. Yup. And we had a blast. Yeah. I also talk about how that was like, because he lived, or it was a friend's house, right?
It was a friend's house. It was one of his, like, he had some, like, rich friends.
But he went to a good private school.
Well, yeah, he went to Benilde, St. Margaret. Mm-hmm. His family was well off, too. But I think, like, these friends were, like, they really got good. It. Yeah. So I was like, oh. Yeah. So yeah, that was a fun night though.
We had to crawl under because we also couldn't go past the actual security.
Yes, because they lived on a golf course
in a gated community.
And a gated community. So yeah, we had to like sneak in somehow.
Which I would love to do that again because it was so beautiful. Like the golf.
It was. I remember like looking out and seeing all the green. Mm-hmm. I was like, dang.
And someone picked us up from a golf cart. Did someone pick us up or we walked? I feel like
we walked. Okay. And then maybe on the way back, someone dropped us off at a golf course. Because I think I remember we were all having a good time, and then it kind of ended abruptly, and we all just bounced all at the same time.
Yes, I remember, and we had a good time though.
Yeah.
Taking like shots.
Yes.
Shots.
It
was such a beautiful in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so good. Yeah. But yeah, I think what happened was the guys who lived there, I guess their parents caught wind. And we're like, something, and then you gotta go. But I do remember we went all the way back home, and I was like, I forgot my cell phone, and you guys had to drive. And from where we lived to where this place was like a 30-minute drive.
It was like 30, because they lived out obviously far. Where the richy people was lived, all the way out there. It was far. I felt so bad because she was driving, and like obviously she's not. We're high school. We're not making that much money, but like I was like, oh man, I gotta get her like money for gas. Like I felt so bad. She picked us up, dropped us off, everything like that. So yeah.
That was so fun.
Oh my gosh,
great parties.
They had great parties. I was like, oh okay.
I know.
I was friends with them on Facebook, like a bunch of them for a long time, and then eventually, like, it kind of was just like, all right, like, I don't need to,
Whenever someone's birthday on Facebook, I always delete them. That's how I remember. That's how I remember.
Not the delete.
Their birthday comes
up. I can't imagine, like, you see their birthday, oh yeah, I forgot, I gotta, like, get rid of you. Like, I don't even talk to you. Let me just delete it on their birthday.
Because they remind you of who. I'm not searching through all my friends for that.
I do sometimes.
You search their friends
like,
and unfollow them?
well, like I'll like go through my friends list, or it'll be one of two things. It'll be like I'm just like scrolling through like like statuses, and I'm gonna see like the umpteenth annoying post from this person. I don't really need to follow up, or I'll just go and I'll unfollow or unfriend.
Yeah.
Or sometimes if I'm bored, I'll just be like, let me like just clean it up a little bit, and I'll like scroll through, and I'll be like, do I care? No.
Yeah.
I'll unfriend. But yeah,
But for
no,
me,
their
no, 'cause
birthday.
I don't go on. I guess that's a lie. I go on Facebook a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, because they send you a notification. And
Yes.
that's the thing. The reason why I go on Facebook most of the time
Right.
is because I'm one of those people that likes to get rid of their notifications.
Yep.
So then I get in there and it'll be like, it's so and so's birthday today. I'm like, okay, delete.
This is the time.
Delete. I don't.
On their birthday.
I don't.
Could you imagine if
Yes.
somebody was like actually like they like saw it, was upset, like wow?
Can you find out that someone deleted you on your birthday?
I don't think that you can find out.
But
like
you can know if someone deleted you.
you can know, if you got unfriended.
One of the worst things is when you delete someone and then they send you a Facebook request years later. Or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's definitely happened to me.
No.
And then I delete.
Ignore it. Yeah.
I ignore the request. Out of here. What?
You think I changed my mind?
Yeah, like what? Like no. Just yeah. Or there's people like I definitely selectively never friended at all. I'm just like and they'll send me a request like every couple of years. And I'm like, still no.
Do you have any memories of like high school or anything? Because we've known each other since like 8th grade.
8th freaking grade. And I mean, I feel like I have a lot of memories of high school because high school was just like, I don't want to say crazy, but I feel like it was like the high school experience kind of, and like playing sports, like being in track, just like being around different characters and people. Some
Having,
people,
like,
the senior
Senior
hallway,
cafeteria table, hierarchy.
some people were like cool, some people weren't so cool. There's a lot of people that were like cool outside of their cliques.
Yeah.
Like you get them in a class and like all of a sudden like they're your best friend, like they're cool. And then they get with their friends and they're just like, nope.
Yeah.
Like that always happened. I feel like it happened to me a lot for some reason. It was so odd. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People always ask me like, were you like popular in your school? And I never felt. First of all, the answer is a dead no. Like, I'm leaving any like inkling that I was popular, but I don't want to claim it. The answer is straight up dead.
No, I was.
But, no,
We just clear the area.
yeah,
We're not a part of that. No.
No. But I remember I wanted to so badly, like rally the stage in the senior hallway and get invited to their parties.
Oh yeah, and it was like it felt so wrong to want to like be wanted like that, but like that's so normal. Like as teenagers, you want to fit in, like you want to be a part of the group of
clique.
people that everybody wants to hang out with. So
I feel like did we ever have bomb? We had bomb. I feel like we had bomb threats all the time, or lockdowns.
No.
Didn't we ever have a lockdown because someone was running around the high school?
I feel like that happened once, but we never got evacuated from the school. I think you're probably thinking of middle school. We actually had a bomb threat, and then we had to leave the middle school.
Yeah.
And it was so cold outside.
Yeah.
Somebody got hypothermia.
Yes.
Because like they just
we did it during. We didn't do it, but it happened during lunch.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to eat.
Yeah. So it happened, and then we all went outside. I think it was like February or something crazy like that. But it was not smart on their part to evacuate people and not have something ready in the winter, especially like people aren't thinking about that they're about to go outside, so they're not bringing their jackets and all that. So it's like, and then they had us. But yeah, middle school definitely we had to evacuate. High school not so much.
Not so much. Did you like high school overall?
I liked it. I feel like it took a while to find my groove. Like I feel high school is also very obviously for a lot of people because that's the age that we're in, but like the development I like, so that was when we got to high school. My parents had just got divorced.
Oh wow.
And
I thought your parents were never together for like your entire life.
Oh no, they were together up until like I was like when we started high school, because they had gotten, I think they finalized the divorce like maybe the summer after freshman year.
So your parents are not from here?
No, we all immigrated together from Cameroon.
I always thought it was just you and your mom.
Nope, it was the three of us. They were married for almost 20 years. And then, things happened. They got divorced. And I remember just sophomore year, just being like, all right, I can't mess around. Like, because I'm an only child. So I felt like I needed to be successful. So I got into a bunch of sports. I was trying to do academically everything that I could. I joined like College Possible. I did the scholarship thing. Like I was like, I gotta do this. I gotta know exactly what I want to do in college. I gotta get a full ride. I gotta figure it out. And so
Do you think
I
if,
do,
it, if you
yeah.
didn't, sorry, if you think if your parents didn't get divorced, you would push yourself that hard? Because to me, hearing
Probably
that is
not.
so crazy. Seeing just one incident
Yeah.
at such a young age, you're like,
Yep.
I gotta get it
Yes.
together.
I probably wouldn't have because the emotional toll it took
Yeah.
because because I was an only child, all the emotional things and the weight of it just fell on me. And both of them were not in the space to like really guide me in that sense. So it's just, I just knew I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I grew up really quickly at like the age of like 15 and just being like, all right, like I just got to do it. And like, I don't think I would have done that
Right.
if they hadn't got divorced. I probably would have just been like, all right, chill and whatever. And so I probably saw less and less of you guys for a little bit because I was just like,
Yeah.
I can't not.
Because I don't remember your parents ever being together. I guess I clearly don't remember them being divorced. But I do remember you being a bookworm and always. But there is nothing wrong with that.
Right,
because,
right.
I mean, I was too, or at least I was trying my best. But
Yeah.
having parents of our complexion, they're
Yes.
like, college.
You ain't got a choice.
Yes.
So when we going? Where are we going? It's not if you're going. It's when and where. Hey, there's no discussion. Be clear.
Yes,
There's no discussion ever of, so what do you want to do?
No,
so this is what the plan is.
Yes.
We'll let you choose where. And hopefully you pick someplace that's affordable.
Because I ain't got no money.
Yeah, I ain't got no money.
Yes, my parents, even though like I was just saying with my friend Angela about this, how like I remember in high school being like, I want to be on E! News, I want to be a journalist. And then I remember my mom was like, no, you don't, because it has a lot of writing. And she was right, but it did kind of like clip those wings a little bit.
Aw, you would have been so good. I'm so
I
sad.
don't care about like the WCCO kind of
Right,
versions of it.
yeah.
And I remember Googling like Juliana Rancic and how she got started. And she got started in her local news. And even after college, I applied to local news stations.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. But I couldn't remember where I was going with that. Oh, but my mom, college is a thing. You need to go to college.
Yeah.
And I was going to say like, oh, mom, like, because at those times I also was acting. So I was like, should I go to college for acting? She's like, yeah. I was like, well, can I go to California? She's like, yeah.
Okay.
But you should have a plan B. And you should do your 4 years of college first and then figure that out later. So we could have the dreams.
Yes.
But it needed to come with a college
Yes. It's like you got to have a fallback plan.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, it's survival mode.
is.
Like, they don't want you ending up not being able to support yourself. So I understand.
But
to an extent.
To an extent.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky that I didn't. Well, I did get accepted to like private art schools, but
Yes.
I'm lucky they gave me no money because River Falls, I met amazing.
Oh, yeah.
group
I
of
remember that.
friends.
Yeah.
And I wanted to leave freshman year.
Yeah.
I wanted to leave sophomore year. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, I have 2 more years left. So.
Yeah.
And I made, like, really, if I didn't make those friends my freshman year, I don't
Yes.
think I would have stayed. And then the marketing program they had was really good too.
Yeah. I do remember like checking in with you and you were always like question mark.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if I'm gonna stay here,
Yeah.
girl. I'm like, well, like it seems nice. Like I would see you during the holidays and you just be like, I don't know. Next year might be my year. Next year. And then finally I'm like, so you're just gonna graduate with them, right? Like, yes.
Well, I
Yes.
want to get to, you talked about how you were married.
Yes.
And I wanted to talk to you and I wanted to bring you on because I didn't even know how to begin this. I was going to.
My husband's white, y'all.
Yes, Mom. I was gonna say, like, Sheila, do you consider yourself pro-black? And
Yeah.
But it's okay. Sheila, do you consider yourself someone that is pro-black?
Yeah. Yeah.
What does pro-black mean to you?
I feel like it's the Issa Rae quote, like I'm rooting for everybody black. Like
Yes.
that's how I see
love that
myself as like
quote.
pro black.
And last but not least, who are you rooting for tonight?
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am betting on black tonight.
Yes.
I hate when people be like, well, if we said it, we blah, 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 blah. I was like, well, I'm not even
Like that's not
We're
know what the point
Yes,
is.
yes.
Like you just being
Yes,
stupid.
yes, I
But
love. Who are you rooting for, Issa Rae? I'm rooting for
everybody black.
Yes,
That's
what
me.
That's what I will say too.
Yeah.
If someone asks me, are you pro-black? And I'll be like, yeah. And like, what's
Yeah.
that definition? Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why I ask is because I feel like whenever I'm on TikTok, I don't know if you're on TikTok or you at least have
I
it.
am. Yeah.
I don't know if you're on Black TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like Black people, Black culture,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I feel like every once in a while, and I guess whenever this comes out, it's not going to help. But
Yes.
I want to, say what I want to say. I feel
Yeah.
like every once in a while we get in this conversation about what is pro-Black.
Yeah.
And I feel like the fine print for that is, or where a lot of the conversation starts, is when a Black person is dating a white person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Dating
all of a
outside their
sudden,
race.
Dating outside their race.
Yes.
And preparing for this conversation, I was thinking like I was going to categorize it like I feel like it's only like the feminine people because they're in the gay community. Just recently we had one of these because a lot of RuPaul Drag Race girls who are Black are dating white men. And I have my thoughts on that, and maybe we'll get to that later. But
Yeah.
I was watching The Breakfast Club, and they had Bishop T.D. Jakes on.
Oh, yeah.
And they asked him, Bishop T.D. Jakes is a pastor.
I love Bishop T. Well, I love him, but he be saying some crazy stuff.
Oh, well, let me tell you what he said that night.
I was like, let me caveat that real quick, because that, yeah.
He'd be saying some stuff.
Yes.
They asked him, what do you think about the up-and-coming pastors on social media and stuff that are kind of using the word in a different way?
Right.
And, or, I take different way however you want.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Bishop was like, there's a saying in the Bible where someone went up to Jesus and was like, they're not praising or worshiping the same way that we're doing it. Like, what's the tea?
Yeah.
And I guess Jesus was like, well, if they're not for me, then they're against me.
Right.
Basically saying, I don't really care
how you do it.
as long
Just
as
like
you're
you doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Bishop went on this great analogy about how the Black community does that within itself, how we're very divisive and how that holds us back and how that doesn't make us go forward and how that kind of really keeps us in the same spot that we were today.
Yeah.
That interview, I believe, came out around the same time this news reporter, I think her name is Ebony K. Williams.
Okay.
And she was saying that she wouldn't date a bus driver. And
Oh,
everyone
yeah. I
up in
remember
arms.
that. Yeah.
And so they brought her, The Breakfast Club brought
Yes,
her on and they
yeah.
talked about it. And Ebony K. Williams was saying that, I'm pro-Black. I want the advancement for Black people.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. And then DJ Envy was like, how can you be pro-Black, but you're dating a white man? And I was just like, it was to me like having those two conversations. The first one was Ebony, the second one was Bishop. And that's how I always thought. I feel like when we get into these conversations, it makes me feel like we're no different than like white supremacy and how they secluded us from them. And I feel like I thought pro-Black meant I'm rooting for everyone's Black.
Right.
But then how I feel from these discourses, except for the people who date white people.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, so then are we not pro-Black?
Yeah.
You know what
because
I mean?
it's like it always irks me when people challenge your Blackness according to who you are dating, because it's like we all are aware of situations where there's interracial couples and there might be like the Black person in that maybe doesn't like themselves and like they use it as like, oh, I'm gonna date this person because Black people are so unattractive, they're so rude, they're so ghetto, and they're putting down Black people in order to feel like, oh, I can only elevate if I date somebody white. That is one category, and that does exist. And I understand the kind of criticism that goes in that direction. But to say all interracial couples are that is just, that's what gets under my skin, because that's not the case. And then a lot of times, like those couples, like they have children who they still, in the Black community, are considered Black. So you're gonna like, are you illegitimizing the children too? And it's like, where does it end at that point? And it's like, as long as you're in a relationship where you're going where you are loved, you are accepted, and you can be who you are, and you're bringing up children that are the exact same way, like it shouldn't matter, and it's none of your business if they're dating outside their race. It's just
I love that part where you were saying like how there's a caveat to this. Where people who are anti-Black, because I feel like I always get irked by this too, because I don't mind necessarily dating outside my race. I would love to date. This is, oh God, there's so many things I want to talk about. But
Right. I know. You can go in so many different directions.
Yeah.
So many different directions. It's crazy. Yeah.
But what I was going to say is sometimes, like for me,
Yeah.
I grew up in a predominantly white space.
Yep.
We live in Minnesota.
Our high school was very white. Our middle school was white.
Our middle school was probably white.
Yep.
Our social, or like what was on TV was probably white.
Yeah.
One of my gay awakenings was a TV show called Smallville, which was basically a teenage version of Superman and his life throughout 8 seasons.
Yeah.
And this guy, Tom Welling, he was just broad shoulders, broad hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is
who I
it.
want.
This is it. But that was all the time. There was always like white, beautiful men. Abercrombie was the thing.
Oh,
So
yeah. Everybody
it's like-
wanted to be Hollister.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when I see, those drag queens who also have to deal with being feminine people and then being criticized, because the Black community, like when men are feminine, they act a certain way.
Yeah.
So we have our where we were raised, and then we have the fighting amongst our community
Right.
might lead me to down here. And the other point I was going to say too is just like the anti-Blackness too, because me growing up, I always got bullied by a lot of people that looked like me, and I didn't go to our middle school until like the 7th grade, and before that I was going to a predominantly Black school where you don't make fun of people for their skin because everyone has the same skin,
so you make fun of how they talk or
and
how
who
they conduct
are.
themselves.
Yes,
Oh, you acting white and all this stuff. Oreo.
And so through therapy I had to learn to get that off because I was feeling like after 2020 I was feeling like I miss having more culture in my life. And why did I pick these schools that didn't have the culture? And so I say all that too because as someone that's dating, I too feel like it's hard for me as a Black gay person to date in Minnesota because there's only 5 of us, and a lot of the 5 Black gay people here, I'm just being hyperbolic, I'm sure there's more, but a lot of the ones that are here don't even like the diversity that's here. So I lose either way. I lose by trying to find someone that's going to love me of the same skin tone, or find if this white guy comes into my life and I date him who, I love, he loves me, my parents love him, blah, blah, blah.
But now you have people looking at you like you couldn't find a Black man.
Yes. I saw this TikTok. I can't remember her name, but if I can remember how to put things up on this screen, I'll put it up. But she said something that I really loved and I needed to hear. And she was talking about why people who criticize Black people who are dating white goes all the way back to slavery when there were people who look like us that sold us out to the white man. And I was like, oh, okay, I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that because that kind of makes sense. Whiteness has done a lot of bad things.
It comes back to a lack of trust, especially like colorism. It's like the lighter skin ones, they got to be in the house, darker skin had to be in the field. Like it's all systematic in that.
Yeah. So I don't know. That conversation, I was just like, what are we doing? I feel like we're getting nowhere with this conversation. And then so we talk about pro-Black, right? And I always think about if we were on the front line, right? Would you not be there because you're like? Would they be like, oh, Sheila, you're not on the list. Sorry, you can't sit here and help us support. And it's like, how dumb does that sound when like you're fighting this battle?
Right. Yeah. Like
filtering out more of the Black people because they're not.
Yeah. Because I was there. Like George Floyd got murdered. I was out. I shopped. I donated. I did all the things. I was not less Black because I at the time had a white boyfriend. And you said something interesting. Shoot, now I lost my train of thought. No, I think kind of going back to. It's interesting, like, especially in those situations where there's lack of trust because of slavery and what happened back then. And, like, in those situations especially, and even, like, now today, instead of blaming the slavery and, like, the situations that put us there, it's like, then we attack our Black brothers and sisters and be like, oh, like, it's your fault you're doing all this stuff. It's like, it's so guided and like it's projecting, it's a lot of it is just not, it doesn't make a lot of sense, like to attack the black person and be like, oh, you're this and you're that because you're dating a white person. It's you're angry at slavery and what like white supremacy and all that stuff like did. That's not something that I did, and me loving this person is not making anything more like wrong about, like it's just
backwards.
It's very backwards, and it's just like it sucks like you're attacking your black brothers and sisters for doing that, but at the same time it's like you're not doing it at the problem. That's not the source of the problem.
You're doubling the worst.
And it's just you're taking over your support from them when it's just like we all need to like be supportive of one another regardless of who you date, of what race and ethnicity.
Have you heard, Keke Palmer?
Yes.
And have you heard of her recent drama when she was with Usher?
Oh,
and
yeah.
her man made some comment
Oh,
about
yeah.
whatever.
Oh, God.
So you know how Keke Palmer was in a Nickelodeon show?
Yeah.
And her love interest was this white guy actor?
Yeah.
In my world of social media,
Drew Jackson VP.
Yes, Drew Jackson VP.
Yes.
A lot of people were like, they posted a picture of that white man and be like, he would never hurt you if you stayed with him. And I'm like, wait, I'm confused now.
Yes.
So, like, we have two black people who are in love. They get some drama.
Yeah.
And then you're going to take a white man and be like, hey, black girl, if you would have went with a white man, he would never treat you like that.
That's crazy.
I'm like, so Keke Palmer can date white people then? Or like, what's...
It's wild.
And then like, it's also very interesting too because modern day television has a lot of interracial couples. Like Spider-Man is interracial, Ariel is interracial. Yeah. I mean, growing up, Cinderella with Brandy, like she was
Asian and black. Yeah.
And I never hear the only person that I hear give pushback is Dr. Umar Johnson. I don't know if you know Dr. Umar.
No.
Girl. He is a loud mouth. He's very funny.
Okay.
He's very funny.
Okay.
But he's very pro-black.
Ooh.
He called, if you're dating a snow bunny, you ain't pro-black. And so he gets on like Ariel, he gets on Spider-Man, he gets on all these cartoons that are like, why isn't Spider-Man dating this, black girl? You go over here chasing these snow bunnies and now you look at you messing up the world. And I just like...
Oh, Lord. So from their perspective, I feel like when a lot of people are very much, you have to date within black people, I think some of that comes from the fear of they don't want to see black people get, I don't know, quote unquote, diluted in some way. They want to keep black families, black love, like it's all about those things. And I get it. Like I see, and the thing is, it's like what's interesting in me being in an interracial relationship and I see people promoting black love, I don't get angry. I am just like, like that's what you want.
Do you think they're talking to you? Like, do you think?
No, I don't take it personally at all. Like, I'm just
not in
like
a personal way, but like when someone's like black love, do you think I qualify for that?
Oh, no, because I feel like that is separate. Like, it just is, yes, I'm a black person loving somebody, but I get the push for black love, black families together, because there's been a lot of things in the media where they talk about black fathers never being there, being incarcerated, all this stuff like that, when the studies show black fathers are way more present than white fathers. So there's a lot of contradictions, and I see a lot of people pushing towards black love, black relationships, because they want to be like, there's a narrative and stereotype out there that we just know it's not true, and we want to promote that. And that's because of that, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's great. Keep doing what you want to do and everything like that. And if I'm showing you the same respect of that's what you want to do, then show me the same respect of this is, what I want to do too. So that's like the only thing. Because I understand. I get it. That makes sense. Yeah. Then just let me do me. Like, let me go where, let me be by my man that I know loves me and cherishes me. My man. Thank you to my man.
And the reason why I asked, like, do you think that you qualify for black love? Because I would. Yes. Any black person that is in love, yes, you qualify.
I love that. I never thought about it that way.
If I'm sitting here supporting black love, a black person is being loved. And knowing how hard dark-skinned women get love, I'm like, finally, at least someone is supporting my sister in a loving way. I support that. And I will also support it if it came from a black man. And I'm like, yes, two black people being in love with each other, that's great. Yes. But I also will stand by my black brothers and sisters who are being loved by someone else. Yes. Because we're not going to sit here and say that everyone in the black community is
Right.
going to be dating everyone in the black community.
Yeah.
So if someone's dating you
Yeah.
and you're in love with them,
Yeah.
that is black love to me.
Okay. I love that. I never thought about it that way. I always thought about it being like it's black love only if it's two black people. But I love that.
I think the overall definition of that is
Yes.
that. But to
Yeah.
me, I'm like, not for me. Like,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And it's, at the end of the day, as cliche as it sounds, everyone's, oh, like love isn't everything. But it's just like, if you truly feel loved and cherished and appreciated and respected in that relationship, no matter the skin color that they are, it's just like, why would you throw that away just because they are not? And granted, like, yes, having been married not even a year, but and I don't have a ton of wisdom, there are times where it's just love isn't enough. There's other things, outside things. There's probably going to be times where it's just like if you're in a relationship, there could be times where it's just like something happens on the news and you might need to just educate them a little bit to be like, hey, this is why I'm angry about it. And you have a moment and like, yes, some people like, I know they don't want to go through that. They just want them to just automatically get it. And like, what's doesn't need to be said doesn't like understood, you know what I mean? So I get it.
You're right.
But at the same time, there's so much love and respect there that there's somebody willing to sit down and talk to you about it and learn it. And that's also powerful too. Yeah.
I'm glad you say that because that's another reason why I have a hard time with this because it's just like Quentin Bronson was on Oprah.
Yes.
And they talked
who's
about
married to a white man and people are mad about that.
And she talked about her story about how she used to date someone else and he would get mad at her success. And she finally found someone that was never blinded by her light. And I'm like, how awesome is that? Like, how cool is that? And that's what makes me so mad is because now we have a white person on our side who's letting this black person be an amazing black person.
Right.
And I feel like, look at what Quentin Bronson's light is doing for this one white man that he can bring back to his Thanksgiving dinner table.
And she's still pro-black. She's a huge advocate in the Philadelphia community for black and brown kids. Like, none of that has stopped her from being like, all right, screw all these black people. I got a white man now. I'm on the come up.
I also don't understand why I feel like it's only one-sided. Like, we only throw darts at... I guess maybe we slightly did say that tomatoes kind of get thrown at white people, but, like, there's, like, who like, Robert De Niro is notorious for dating black women. Robin Thicke is notorious for dating white women. A comedian named Gary Owens is famous.
Oh, yeah. He got married to a black woman. Yeah.
And they're marrying a black woman. He was just in a TikTok because someone asked him, he's like, my manhood only gets turned on by black women. And it's just like, so
it be like that sometimes.
Exactly.
Once you go black, you don't go back.
Exactly. So I'm just like, but we're like, yeah, you say that. Whatever. But then if Quentin Bronson came up here and they're like, oh, tomatoes.
Yes.
Like, why do we give a pass? Well, I feel like we give a pass to these, the white men that date black women and love it.
Yes.
But then when anyone that's black that dates a white person and loves it, they get the tomatoes.
I know. It's ridiculous. And I think it just all boils down to the history of just white and black people in America. White people historically, like, more racist, discriminatory, and have all these things. So it's, oh, you're dating a black woman. Oh, you're down. Like, you're it. Like, you're cool. Like, you have all the street cred and all this stuff like that. It's just, oh, like, you automatically don't seem like a racist person because you have this black person with you. And then black women, completely different thing. It's just, oh, you just, selling out for the white man. You know that they say crazy things like, oh my gosh, I will never forget. I wasn't with my now husband. I was with another white boyfriend at the time. And we went to go see a show with his family, like his mom and dad. And I think it was Impractical Jokers or something like that, like downtown. And I was just like walking with him and his family. Like, we're just like, minding our business. And like this group of like black men like yelled at me, did you know that they raped your ancestors back in the day? I can't believe you're with this man. Like, out loud while I'm with his family and him. And I'm just like, wow. What did you get out of that?
What if Robin Thicke had a black girl? Hey,
man,
I see you with the good
I know, but that's funny because that's what happened to me and my husband Alex in Chicago.
Interesting.
We were walking down the street and this guy looked at Alex, looked at me. He's like, all right, man, you got a good sister. I see you. And I'm like... sir. How do I get heckled and you get praised?
Yes.
But yeah, I've had both sides.
So what did the family of the heckler, what did they do? Because I was going to ask you, like,
Yeah.
as someone who dates white men, have you ever felt like tension from the family?
Yeah.
But I've never would have thought, I would never think of that scenario. That is so crazy.
It's so crazy.
Do you know what the boyfriend or the family did or how they reacted?
They kind of brushed it off. Like, we didn't sit and talk about it or
Yeah.
anything like that. I think in some sense they were definitely uncomfortable, but we never we're like, all right, let's talk about what just happened. Does that make you feel any type of way or whatever? We kind of just like, all right, onward the rest of the night, which at the time, to me, like, I don't even know what I would have said. It's probably best that we didn't talk about it. Today, if that happened to me and Alex, like, we'd be like, what the hell was that? Like, let's figure that out. Like, that was weird. But back then, I was just so young, and I was just like, okay, I'm just uncomfortable, and I just want to get out of the situation. But yeah.
It's funny that that gives me like because I always get so anxiety when I date, like when I want to date, because I mean, I don't know if it's clear as day, but I do love Hispanic men.
Ooh, good for you.
I don't know what it is, but let me say to the black men, it's very
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
it's just like I don't know what. Yeah, it's like it's just different. Like
It's
Hispanic
different.
culture is just super.
Oh
different.
yeah,
The black
I did
culture is super
Hispanic, I did
different.
Asian,
Yes,
like
I would love
all
to date an Asian,
different.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so bad. Like I would love to date it. That's not what I meant.
It's like they're not trading cards, y'all. Like we get it, but like we all do it in a
Yes,
sense, like
yes.
because it is a different, you know.
And I do love melanin. Like even like I maybe like Filipinos or Hawaiians or like
Yeah.
Asians carry more melanin. And I find very gorgeous. And
Yeah.
Hispanic men I find gorgeous as well. But it always makes me feel so weird because I know we were talking like me discovering my own anti-blackness. But when I'm on these TikToks, you see it in other communities too.
Right.
And so it's just as a black person too, that's another reason why I'm for anyone that's loving black people because I hate to say this, but how I feel is like in almost any community, there is going to be anti-blackness.
Yep.
So it's like we're trying to say is like it's not like how I define black love is as long as a black person is being loved, that's why I support it. Because like I said before, there are black people in the black community
Right.
that doesn't even want to date black people.
Yeah.
And so it always gives me anxiety too because one, is this putting this person in a situation that I don't want to put them in? I just want us to be in love. I don't want their
Right.
uncles and aunts and
Yeah.
cousins to be like,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? And hopefully, if their family's like that, they
Yeah.
can, boss
Come
up
around,
and be
yeah.
like, I'm out of here, whatever. But
Yes.
that for me as dating and someone who likes diversity and someone, because another thing about dating is you immerse yourself into their culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is something completely, I know what it's like to be black. I know what meals are coming to the country.
Yes.
Like, I get it.
Period.
But I want to, if I'm dating someone of a different ethnicity, it would
Yeah.
be so much I can learn and also
Yeah.
like, be immersed. So
Yeah.
that's another reason too. But that's why I always get anxiety. And that story
Yes.
is like, that's
Yeah.
that's
Oh
what
no,
I-
it's definitely like it's I'm not going to pretend like it's not there. It's definitely been like, oh, what if I go and meet, Alex's relative or family member, they don't like me. It might be a little weird. Like awkward situations have happened in regards to race, not particularly towards me, but we've had conversations about what had happened in 2020 with the George Floyd murder. So you gotta have to be ready of anything that could happen there, because if you're loving this person that is not, and they have family that haven't been exposed to black people, because it is crazy to me in 2023 how many people have not been exposed to black people.
Yeah.
And it's wild. You would think the questions about your hair, what you do, all this stuff like that would stop at a certain point. It does not. Even in the workplace, I still get questions. I'm like, what?
One of the notes that I wrote
everywhere.
Oh, this is a good point. Okay, so
Yes.
when I was talking to my therapist about my own anti-blackness,
Yeah.
and she was like, she really set it straight, because I was coming from a place where I met this group of gay black people over the summer, and it really felt so refreshing. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, I need this, but the group was not the right group. So just because they're black doesn't mean they're the right group.
That's true.
But it really was like, you need some more of this. And I was talking to my
Yes.
friend Abby. Because I'm like, how do I explain this? I don't want my white friends to feel like I'm like deleting
Yeah.
them like the Facebook thing.
Yes.
But you're trying to expand your circle.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to figure out where did it come from? Because at that time I still feel like black men gets me nervous or scared, right? And there are reasons why. But another thing I'm learning is like, it's when you hear these conversations about like how people are like, well, you Oreos hate us because 4 people bullied you, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it's much deeper than that. Yes, it's
Yes.
not the entire black community, but it is my world.
Yeah.
And when my world is showing me these people that look like me, I have no other choice but to put everyone in a box.
Yeah, because you don't feel safe.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely like a mechanism you're doing because it's like your brain a lot of the times doesn't have time to figure out the facts and do everything, and only sometimes just has time to react and make generalizations, because you have to, like, in order for your brain to work efficiently and to not be like bogged down by information, it has to compartmentalize. I can never say that word, and do those things. So it has to make snap and quick decisions of, is this a safe space? Is this like the right, should I be here or not? What should I do to make sure that I'm safe? Like in a matter of like milliseconds. So if you're constantly being like, you're neurologically where you've been in situations where you haven't felt safe, it's obviously going to be automatic in situations you're just going to be like, oh, like, all right, I know the situation, I'm not going to feel safe. I shut down.
Yes. And so because I got bullied so young and at that school, I immediately attached myself to the black. Well, first of all, I was primarily white.
Yeah.
And I remember clear as day. I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I remember it was clear as day. I was getting lunch.
Yeah.
And at the old school, you fought for your life when it came to lunch because they did it by alphabetical order, and I was S, so I was at the end. So if you wanted to budge, you gotta make your way through.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly what I did at the new school.
Yeah.
And I remember people looked at me like, homeboy.
Yeah.
There's enough to go around.
I know. Yes.
And I was like,
especially in a predominantly white school with like, there's like enough to go around. It's just like, people are like, why can't you wait your turn?
Yeah. And so you were just talking about like microaggressions, and that was another thing too. I never understood microaggressions because the black schools, because we all looked the same, they came at you for your personality and who you were.
Yeah.
But the microaggressions come from like your stereotypes.
Yes. Because
I
of the
I didn't see that. And my therapist was like, it sounds like it sounds like you're comfortable being othered in one space, but not being comfortable being othered in the other space. And as soon as she said that, I was like, okay, got it. I got it. And I think I can't remember why. Oh, just microaggression. Oh, so anyway, so I was at work years ago, and I have a playlist on my Spotify called Black Man's Coffee Shop. And it has people like Al Green and like Jill Scott and Erykah Badu and Maxwell, like things like if I had a black coffee shop,
you'd
the
play.
vibes that I would play.
I like that.
So I had a white woman supervisor, and she had a catty little friend too. The women that I worked for were like leaders of a department. This one leader of this department, her best friend who's leader of this department, comes up behind, they saw my Spotify playlist on the screen because I sit in front of them. And then like, Black Man's Coffee Shop, what's in that coffee shop? What are you guys listening to? What's Black Man's Coffee Shop? And just the way they said it, I was just like, girl, shut up.
Don't act like this is a novelty. Don't make this a bigger deal than it needs to be. Child.
And I just had a picture of Aretha Franklin, like an old vintage picture of Aretha Franklin. Who's that? Who's that person? What is Black Man's Coffee Shop? What are you selling there?
Bruh.
And I'm like, oh my God, come on, people, or stuff like, and like hair comments. Remember one time, we use different hair products.
Right.
So I went boating one time, dived in the boat, and came back up, and someone like, it smells like cocoa butter. Like, who has the cocoa butter? And I'm like, girl, it's probably me. Like, who else? Who else
on the boat?
Don't
ask questions. Don't ask questions. You know the answer. That's the thing that gets me. They be asking questions they know the answer to. Oh my gosh, your hair looks shorter. You know what happened, Susan. I took off my wig and my naturals out. That's what happened.
I love when people are like, you should grow an afro. It's not that easy. Like, it's not like what you see in the 70s where everyone had an afro. Like, I remember telling my barber, like, I want to grow an afro. He's like, you don't have the hair to grow an afro. Like, you don't have the natural DNA that just keeps keeps growing.
Yeah, because your hair is like, there's a natural progression of like, if your hair grows up and out, you can. If your hair just grows down, like it's not gonna happen, you know. Yeah.
So yeah, I thought you bringing up microaggressions are so funny because I also remember that in therapy, like why I never saw it in our schools because it's just a different type of lingo, it's a different type of jargon.
They said it in a way that didn't make you feel that way, but you felt a type of way about yourself sometimes.
There's one of my favorite TV shows. Have you ever watched Atlanta with Childish Gambino?
Oh, I've heard about it, and I heard great things, but I never got to sit down and watch it myself.
It's so good. It's so good. And season 3 is one of my favorites. And season 3, I feel like they're trying to talk about like race and like because the show is made for Black people. Right. And there's one that I wish that got out to the mass public. But there is another one, I think it's called like a scholarship or something like that. Yeah. And it's all in black and white. And this rich guy goes to the school and he's like, I'm paying for everyone's college. Oh. And he said, only if you're Black. And they're like, why? And so all the Black kids
so
like,
the uproar, yes.
And then all the white kids like started, saying what they wanted to say because now they're not getting the scholarships. But in order to get the scholarship, you had to prove that you were Black. So even though it was only going to Black people, you had to prove that you're Black. And it centers around what I thought was a white kid because it's in black and white. It's actually kind of like a Mariah Carey.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, he had white friends and all that stuff.
Yep.
And they're like, are you white? Or like, are you white or something? He's like, no, I'm Black. And they're like, what's this? What's this? What's this? And like questioning him. And he was like so confused. And one of them just started yelling at him like, you're white.
You are white. You shut the fuck up. You are white. You white. He just told you Blacks only. He couldn't answer any of the questions, could he? He's white.
Off-white. And I just started cracking up because I know what that felt. And they were like, you're coasting on your whiteness to get by. Yes. And as someone who grew up around white people, I was like, oh, this hits. I get it. Like how, and I feel like saying that or like having that little blurb is going back to when there were Black people who are like, you're not one of us. And I get it because for some Black people, they were coasting on their whiteness and their affiliation with white people to get by. But I never, I just always thought that was so interesting because it was so funny and I stick to it to the day.
Yes.
But
I feel you.
Have you ever felt that way? Do you ever feel like people, I guess for me, let me say this first. I guess for me as someone who's always been around white people, I never felt like that was coasting on whiteness, but I can see why people can think that. Can you see why maybe people can think that?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because even though, but to the point of never feeling like Black enough or like people questioning like how Black you are, definitely been in those spaces. And then people being like, oh, you're so white or whitewashed. I always, like, that term always made me cringe. Oreo. Like, it just was so mean and disrespectful. But the thing about it is, it's even if I was, like, friends with these, like, white people, but I learned so much. And I did grow so much. And it got me to figure out, I work in corporate America. I know how to say a lot of what they're saying and speak their language, code switch and like just understand like how to navigate that world and play the game, and I'm successful. Like, so yes, it happens, but I still I still hang out with like my Black friends. Like I don't sugarcoat or act like I'm better than them or anything like that. At least I would hope they don't feel that way. But at the same time, like, I learned a lot. Like, I learned, especially in the spaces that I knew I was going into that were predominantly white. Like, it is what it is. Girl, like,
I think that too, because I'm like, man, because corporate America, like, when I see corporate America as a whole, I see all these, like, I saw this picture of a board meeting and everyone was in a suit. I hate that because, like, in their culture, in this corporate, like, whatever corporatization white world, that's their level of professionalism, which I hate.
I hate it.
Show diversity.
But
there is something to say when you're in that world and you kind of know that secret handshake, because unfortunately it is
that's how it's set up right now. And it is changing. Like, I work very hard at the company I'm at now to make sure that I work as an internal auditor. There's this group called National Association of Black Accountants. I'm a part of that group and have been a member for years. And we're using that to get more diversity, get people in the door that look like us and stuff like that. So I work very hard to make sure that this is not forever.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like I just needed to get in the door and establish like where I need to be. And it's just like, all right, now that I am in like people's good graces and I know what I'm doing, I know how to navigate it. Like, all right, everybody come along. Let's do this. Let's change it up and show them that there's not just one level of professionalism. Like, I kind of stopped code switching a lot of the times because I'm just like, man, this is so, I'm like, I'm gonna just say what I need to say. It just comes out now and everybody's just like, all right, cool. And it's just, sometimes you'll be surprised at like how much it is accepted in some spaces, not all spaces. I've been fortunate enough to be in spaces where it is fine, but I'm still like, no, we got to make sure it's not like this. We can't keep seeing the same type of people forever. And I've worked at a company where they just kept hiring people that looked white, affluent, all this stuff like that. And I left. I was just like, all right, I can't keep playing this game. I tried. I gave it a go, but y'all now are really not hearing it. So I moved on and I found a company that appreciates it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I don't know. What's the moral of the story?
Yeah. Dang.
I know. I'm trying to learn how to because usually I'm like, thank you for coming on.
Peace. Thank you.
Like, how do you wrap things? Like, how do you wrap this conversation up? What is the thing? But did I tell you my movie idea?
No. Tell me.
So I'm starting this movie idea. So one of the things that I did when I was anti-black.
Damn, there was an era came in? Scandal.
All those hood classic movies like Friday.
Yeah.
Friday,
Yes. Yeah.
I've never seen any of them.
You know what? I didn't either.
Okay, well,
I'm not gonna lie.
Together.
Yeah, we did it together. My husband was just like, because he gets on me because I'll quote Friday things because of social media and everything like that. He'll be like, you haven't even seen Friday, and he's seen Friday. So I'm just like, oh man, this is bad.
Yes. So I haven't seen them. So what I want to do is see them all. And since we're in a writer's strike, I was like, why don't we just take the time to watch these hood classics? Review them for the first time, and then put them out there and see what happens. But I've been watching some of them have been great. Some of them have been, I've only watched 4 right now. Okay. And they've been really nice. Only 2, but the other 2 are absolutely boring. And I did watch Friday, and that was great. That was great. And then when you're watching them, you see the memes. Like, oh, I didn't know.
It all connects. Yeah.
I'm still like, this isn't enough, and they're like, making enough.
I
didn't know that came from them. Bye, Felicia, which I kind of remember from, but it kind of reminds you. Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh, I love it. No, I love that plan. And it's funny, you had mentioned coming out of 2020 feeling like you just need to be more in the culture of Black people. I felt the same way. I looked around and I'm just like, man, like I really just need to like have my like experience with my people and just like recharge sometimes. And so I completely get that, like, in having, like, a moment, like, I just want to watch, like, a good, like, solid film of just, like, us and...
2020? Was it the rude awakening that we got? I think it was a rude awakening for me because George Floyd happened in our hometown.
Yes.
And I was going to a CrossFit gym at that time. And when George Floyd hit, I saw people who I would, like, be in their house.
Yes.
I would be holding their kids.
Yeah.
Like, they would be having me over at barbecues.
Yeah.
Switch up. And that was, I remember being like, oh,
yeah.
I just remember being like, so if that was me, we'd be
like, you'd be shut. And yeah, that was part of it.
Yeah.
And another thing about it too was just like this feeling of, and I felt this being in a lot of the corporate America spaces and white people spaces, never feeling good enough because there's only so much your, whiteness and your blackness that you can be to a point like, oh no, like at the end of the day, you Black.
Yes.
And just feeling, I just need to go where I'm celebrated, where I don't feel like I need to pretend or do a certain thing or do a song and dance so much. But at the same time, too, it's just, I'm still like me. This is still my personality of like how I talk, how I walk, who I am. Yeah. But it's just still nice to be in those spaces. And even with the NABA, like we had a conference early June And it was just like a whole week of just like blackness. And I had it was just the best time ever. It's so refreshing. I was dancing so hard, my feet hurt, talking to people, and it's just like, this is my people. I love it. Yeah. And it's just like, you can have that and still, like, I went home to my husband and like I told him all about it. He was so happy for me, and like we just watched a movie and chilled. Like, you can have both. It's not one way or the other kind of thing. And I guess maybe that's the way I'll like leave it. Don't put yourself in a box. I feel like you can only be pro-black a certain way. Like, we are not a monolith. Like, we come in all shapes and sizes and colors, all different generations or whatever. If you are black, you're black. Not you're less than because of whatever person or thing that you love.
I felt that too. Like, I wanted more expansion. I'm a Sag. I just love learning. I just want to learn from more. And I feel like I've learned quite well in this one box.
Yes.
So I'm ready to learn from other boxes. And being, like I said, when I was around those black gay guys, it was just like, wow, like what have I been missing this entire time? And also, like you said, like how you went back to your husband. Like, I still go back to my friends all the time. I still hang out with them all the time. But having that just like refresher thing. And like, really, for me, just being more patient with myself, not forgiving myself. I told my therapist, I'm like, I want to be a better black person.
It kind of feels like you're making up for lost time.
That's what it is. I should say that. I want to make up for lost time. That's what it is. Because when I tell my therapist that, we bust out laughing. She's like, don't say that. I love that. Okay, I want to make up for lost time. That's what the movie thing is making up for lost time. And me searching and why I built this platform. Because hopefully, maybe if I can ever get people online, having more of a diverse crowd and stuff like that. And maybe my definition of pro-black is I'm rooting for people who are black.
Yeah. Period.
Lise, who are you rooting for tonight?
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am. Betting on black tonight.
Period.
Approved.
All right, well, thank you so much. This will be the end.
Do the Minnesota goodbye. We on here for 2 more hours. Lord.
I like try to fade out and then I fade in. Like,
hey, we back. More. We're talking about more stuff.
Perfect.